Hi everyone and welcome back to CSharpCorner live show. I'm your host Stephen Simon and we are back once again. This week we are streaming CSharpCorner MVP show. And if you're someone who is joining us for the very first time, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we stream CSharpCorner live. CSharpCorner MVP show where we host our great MVPs who contribute on our platform and we are really proud of them. And today it's really exciting because I am meeting someone for the very first time. He is joining us from Colombia. He is Miguel. He's a solution architect, Microsoft MVP. I just checked his Twitter. He's also active and he's received some cool goodies from Microsoft. I'm really jealous of that. Tumblr. He's also Alibaba Cloud MVP and member of if not, I'm gonna mess it. Avnet community. His articles have been read over 250,000 times on internet, more specifically on C Sharp Corner. And in today's session, he's gonna talk about Blazor and some other cool stuff. So without any further ado, let's bring our guest in. Hi Miguel, welcome to the C Sharp Corner live show.
Hi, Simon. Nice to meet you. Yeah, welcome to this session, all people that is connected right now to this talk.
Yeah, so Miguel, we are hosting you for the very first time. So I really want to thank you for accepting the invitation and for all the contributions you have done on the platform. I see 250,000 is not a small number. It means that people really love the content that you share, all the articles that you write. So kudos to you on that. And Miguel, quick, I'm always curious when I host people from C Sharp on the MVP community. Is I always ask them that how did they come to know about C Sharp Corner? When was the first time that they visited the website? Do you remember when was the first time you encountered with C Sharp Corner website?
Yeah, I remember I used to use the page to, find resources and useful guides for me when I was learning. And also here in Colombia, we have a smart guy that is Juan Carlos. He is working. Actually, he's working at Google right now, but he was
Wow.
working at Microsoft before. And there, when he was working there, he wrote a lot of articles for C Corner, and I saw the opportunity there when the pandemic started. I had a lot of time because I was working like a half time at that time, and finally I took the decision. I made the decision to start writing for C Corner, and finally, yeah, it was great. A great experience. You have a big community. A lot of people normally view my articles. I mean, all the articles that are in training, and that's great. So yeah, this is how it started, and I feel really comfortable now writing in C Corner.
Wow, Miguel, I'm really excited. I've been looking at the articles. One of the most popular one is recently from December that is about deploying landing pages using GitHub and Azure Static Web Apps, which has no, I think new features in Blazor with .NET 6 has crossed almost 35,000 views. How cool is that? And today you're gonna talk about Blazor and MudBlazor. Now, Miguel, I have heard Blazor and I've hosted quite a few pair of folks who have worked on Blazor, and Blazor looks very promising. I mean, C Sharp does all the job, but MudBlazor I've never heard about it. This is my very first time I'm hearing MudBlazor. So I'm really excited for this sessions, and everyone who is, you can please feel free to go ahead and share your screen, and then we
Yeah,
can get
sure.
started. And everyone
Yeah,
who's watching, please feel free to go ahead and ask your question in the comments. Uh, any questions are welcomed. All questions are welcomed, and we'll make sure that we take it towards the end. And even if there's no question, I know I'll have a lot of doubts to ask to Miguel.
oh,
And Kevin, hi, Kevin. Welcome to this live show.
let me a second. I have to. Oh, I have to assign permissions to H in order to share the screen. So I will,
Yeah,
yeah, I have
you'll
to log
drop.
out and join again. Please just
All right, not a problem. We'll just play music. All right, with that, why play music when I'm there? So the exciting news is that we have C annual conference happening after almost 2.5 years. It's scheduled for October 8 to 16. It's in 5 different cities, starting from October 8 in Chennai. Let me go ahead. We have Miguel anyway, so you can visit conference.csharpcorner.com and you'll find a lot more details. Miguel, did you ever receive C Sharp Corner swags from us?
No, not yet.
Why is that? We always send emails whenever you get an MVP email, right? There's always a statement that says, "Hey, please give us the address." But yeah, I'll take your address on email, and we'll make sure that we ship you your goodies. That's super important.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I will share my screen now.
Yeah,
Let me see if this worked. Yeah, I think it's working now. It's working. I can see
yeah.
it. I can see it.
I see your screen. Everybody else can see your screen, Miguel. And next 45 minutes is all yours.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon. So let's start talking about Blazor and MudBlazor. Today we have a exciting talk, exciting session where we will learn a little about Blazor and also how to include this library in order to extend the functionalities that Blazor has by default and create rich UI, rich application with a lot of feature easily. That's the idea. That's the plan. That's why we can use MudBlazor, and this is a must if we want to quickly create web application with Blazor. So let's start. Let's see. A minute, please. Okay, yeah. So about me, as Simon said, I am Microsoft MVP, CSharpCorner MVP, Alibaba Cloud MVP, and you can find me at M. Teheran in Spanish or M. Teheran. mtheran.net is my webpage, my blog, but I normally write articles in Spanish. I have a few articles in English, but if you want to read more about the content that I share, you can go to CSharpCorner because there I normally write in English and I have the same content but in English in CSharpCorner. So let's start talking about Blazor. I know, guys, maybe a lot of you already know what is Blazor. Actually, maybe you have some experience with Blazor, but let's review once again what Blazor is. So Blazor, we can resume Blazor, or you can like give a small summary about Blazor and say we can say Blazor is a framework to create web applications. But Blazor have some specific features or functionality that we have to highlight. One of them is related to the schema or the structure that we use in order to create our application. We will use C#, HTML, and CSS. So we don't need JavaScript, at least in some in the general functionalities, because in some specific scenario, maybe we have to inject JavaScript to the application because Blazor is something new and it doesn't have support for some specific functionality. But finally, with Blazor, the idea is to reuse all the knowledge that we have, all the experience that we have about .NET and JavaScript, and use that knowledge to create amazing web application. Blazor is completely free and open source. You don't have to pay anything for that. And also you can create tickets or issues if you find something that we have to fix or something that is not working fine. Blazor is cross-platform. You can use it in Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. And also, it's important to highlight that Blazor is a extension of ASP.NET, which is mean that we will use ASP.NET as a base framework, as a base library, all these components, and we will extend ASP.NET in order to add more components. Blazor is based on components, something similar like React.js. So basically, the idea is to create a structure for our website or web page where every section of this web page is a component. And we also can reuse component, create like share component that we will reuse in many other pieces of or part of the application. And also we can create a component that contains other components. So everything is based on component. We will create a small or large or more complex component, but finally all the structure in our application is based on components, something pretty similar to React.js. So there are two versions of Blazor. It's important to highlight this. In this session, we will keep the focus on Blazor WebAssembly, which is the version that we can run in the browser. And we don't need we can run this version, and if we have connection issues or something a problem to connect to the server, we can use progressive web app in order to keep the application running in the client side with no problem, and create a good interaction with the user and the client. Also, it's important to highlight that Blazor is a single page application. This means that we will have only one HTML file that is going to contain all the application and all the elements that we created. In the other side, Blazor server is an application that is going to run the server. Even the structure is the same. Blazor server is also based on components. It's also free and open source. It's exactly the same, but it runs the server. And the tool that Blazor server use in order to interact with the user in real time is SignalR, which is a library that we can, that is another extension of ASP.NET that helps to create application in real time. And we will use SignalR in Blazor server to create a really good experience for the user. So the user is going to see an application running all the time really quickly. And also it's going to simulate that the application is running in the client side, but or the application is always running in the server. It's important to highlight that Blazor server is really good processing a bit large amount of data, because finally in the server we have more resources. We have more computing, like a more more resources, more resources in the server, that we can use more memory, for example, that we can use in order to handle complexity tasks, and also a large amount of data. And we can use Blazor server in those scenarios. Both are really good if you are a C# developer or a .NET developer and you want to create web application. If you don't know JavaScript and you are really good at C# and .NET, and you want to create a web application really quickly, Blazor is a really good solution. Both are really good, but Blazor WebAssembly, remember, is going to run in the browser, is going to run in the client, and it's important to highlight. In this session, again, we will use Blazor WebAssembly. So we have a small timeline here about Blazor, how Blazor, the evolution of Blazor, how Blazor is moving forward, all the version that we had before and we have right now. At the beginning, in the preview version, we have the possibility to play a little with the features and understand the concept of Blazor, how Blazor works. And we had a good preview about all the future feature that we will have for Blazor. So then with .NET 3.1, we have the possibility to have a stable version. We have a really good integration with NetCore, and also we have the possibility to use Net Standard in order to share libraries with other kind of application. Then in .NET 5, we have a lot of features, a new feature that the community was expecting, especially virtualization, something that can help us to improve the performance. CSS isolation in order to create a better structuring of application. Also lazy loading to load only the assemblies, the dependencies of the libraries that we will use in Blazor only when it's required. So in this way, we can improve the performance as well. So a lot of features since .NET 5. In .NET 6, we have the same, a lot of features, new template, how reload, required parameters, error boundaries, components for React.js and Angular. We have the possibility to create components using Blazor and share these components that was made with Blazor in React and Angular applications. So this is amazing. This is in preview yet. But in the future we will have this possibility. I mean, obviously we will the Blazor thing is going to release this feature, and we will have the possibility to use it. .NET 7, a lot of new features are coming. NetMAUI, for example, with Blazor Hybrid, we have the possibility to create using Blazor application for desktop, for mobile, and also web, share all the UI between different platforms. Also, we have a new console, a new output console. We have the possibility to inject services into custom validation attribute. This is something that currently it is not possible. So with .NET 7, we have this possibility. And finally, Hop Reload was improved. We have the possibility now to use Hop Reload with Visual Studio Code, and also to see some icons or emojis in the console to improve the experience of the user as well. So a lot of features. Blazor has a really good evolution. It's really mature right now. So we have the possibility to use this for our web applications. So what is MudBlazor? Because we are talking about Blazor, but also we want to integrate Blazor with MudBlazor in this session. So MudBlazor is a material design component framework for Blazor. So it's a library that is going to help us to improve all the UI, create rich interfaces for our application, and in this way improve the user experience, improve the user design, and create quickly good application. We don't have to integrate more libraries, because finally MudBlazor include all the components that we need for a normal application, like for example tables, grips, alerts, buttons, forms, etc. All the normal controls that we need to create an application. So that's it about MudBlazor. We have the possibility to use MudBlazor with a playground in internet, in online. So we don't need to install MudBlazor or create a Blazor application and then add the MudBlazor library in order to use it. We can navigate to try MudBlazor, and there see how MudBlazor works, and also we can create some small demos to try first the idea that we have in our minds there in online, and then copy that code to our application. So in this way we can avoid possible issues and also save time. So let's go to try MudBlazor and let's see how this web page works. So let's see. Let's copy this URL. Oh, sorry. Perfect. And let's navigate to this try MudBlazor. So we have this web page here, try MudBlazor. We have the version here, and this is how like a small description about how try MudBlazor works. But we want to play with this, so let's click on play now and let's start to use it. So the idea with try MudBlazor is to have a Razor file that contains all a small code, or like a test code that we can execute in order to see how this works. And we are able to edit this code here with all the things that we want to add or we want to try. So let's play this demo that we have here by default. And we can click here and we can see how the message is changing and is counting every click that I perform, that I do here in this button. So that's the idea. We can change this. For example, we can change this primary to warning. It's another color supported by MudBlazor. We can play again this, and we can see the changes there. So now the button is not like a purple, it's like a yellow, and we can see that everything is still working as the same. We can, for example, add another mod test here, for example. Sorry. Okay, here, yeah. We can, for example, add each, maybe we can use each, we can keep each 6 here and use each 3 here. And we can remove text here and use the text here in this new mob test. So the idea is to separate the counting number that we have here. This awesome with the counting here, and have this like a title MudBlazor is in another mod test, like a title for this script. So let's play this code again and let's see the changes. So we can see like a title here, and the test now that is going to show us awesome, and then counting click. We can see it in like a small font. So yeah, we can see now how this is still working, but with a different style. So we can play with all of these. We can, for example, remove this variant here, play this again, and we can see how the button now, it doesn't have it is not filled. So but it's still a button, it's still working, but it has a different style. So this is how MudBlazor works. We can see also that all the controls in MudBlazor start with the word mud. Very important to highlight this. And this is how we can play with a try MudBlazor. Very simple and very useful to save time when you want to try something and you don't have a Blazor project, or you don't want to create all the structure that we need in order to use MudBlazor. You can try first here and check if the idea that you have, it works or not. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. This is how try MudBlazor works. You can go right now and use it. It's completely free. So let's see all the steps that we need in order to include MudBlazor in our Blazor application. So first, if we don't have a Blazor application yet, we can use .NET New Blazor once in the console in order to create a Blazor application. If we already have a Blazor application, you can skip this step and go to the next one. So the next step is to add Blazor, the Blazor package or MudBlazor package. Then you have to use in the imports using MudBlazor. Then you have to add the styles to index.html and also the JavaScript file. Remember, we don't need to use JavaScript, but internally MudBlazor has some JavaScript scripts in order to use some specific actions in the UI. Also, we have to add the services internally in the configuration. And finally, we can add the components, the MudBlazor component that we want to include in our application. So I know it seems that there are a lot of steps there. It seems a little complicated, but actually it is not complicated. It's pretty simple. But we need to be careful with all the steps. We only need to copy and paste some pieces of code, and in 5 minutes we can have MudBlazor running in our project. So you can navigate to this guy here. This guy is exactly the same that I put in the slide. In the slides is exactly the same. So this is how manual install works. We have to add a MudBlazor, import the using for MudBlazor, add the styles, the scripts, and finally register the services. Finally add the components in main layout razor to start using MudBlazor. So after add this component, we can add as a custom component or a specific component that we want to use in our application or in our project. So this is the guide that we have to follow for this proposed. So let's see a project that already have this, because I have a demo with all these already set up. So let's see how this works. Let me show you that part. So okay, so let's see this demo here. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So we have this demo here. This demo only, it doesn't have a lot of code. It's the base code for every Blazor application. I mean, when you create a Blazor application from scratch, this is the demo code or the base template that we normally have. And also, I already add the MudBlazor library. Only two things: the base template and also MudBlazor library. This is the code that we have here. So first we need to add the MudBlazor library. As you can see, we can see the library here with the version 6.0.11. So we already have that package. Then after add that, we have to navigate to index.html file, and here we have to add the CSS file, which is this one here, and also we have to add the script here. Okay, that's it for that file. Imports.razor, we have to add this line here using MudBlazor in order to add MudBlazor globally. So now we are able to use MudBlazor in all the components in the application. So I think that's it. Or also in share, we need to go to main layout and add this one here. With this, we are able, we don't have to specify the mob10 provider, mob dialog provider, this kind of component in each component in the application. Because finally, adding here, we are able to use some controllers in MudBlazor with no dependencies, or just adding the component directly without any configuration. So this is why it's important to add this here in order to have like a global configuration for all the components. That's it. So let's see how in pages we have counter. As you know, counter is the base, is one of the components that we have for default in the base template when we created a Blazor application. So I just added here a MudBlazor button. As you can see here, we can see a MudBlazor button is exactly the same that this one here, but it is using MudBlazor. That's the differences. So MudBlazor, we have here the variant property in order to fill all the content in the bottom and see the content filled. Also, we have the color primary, which is like a kind of purple. We have on click method that we are calling. As we can see a differences here between Blazor and MudBlazor. In MudBlazor, we have a specific property for the on click method, and in Blazor normally we have to use add on click and add the name of the function that we have or the method that we want to call. In this case, we will use onClick in this way. Also, we have the test here, click me, the test for this button. But I mean, we have two buttons, but one is using MudBlazor and the other one is using the standard HTML with Blazor, the base template that we have in Blazor. This class that we have here is Bootstrap 5, which is the version that in this case Blazor has by default. So let's see this demo running. So we can use .NET Wash and see this running. So we have here the demo. This is the base template. As I said before, the name of the project is starting with MudBlazor. If we go to counter, we can see two buttons here. So we have this one, which is the generic one, which is using Bootstrap, which is using the base template in Blazor. And we have another one here that is using MudBlazor. We can see a small effect here. Is also working in the same way. It's exactly doing the same thing. So this is why this is the this is how we can start using MudBlazor with small steps, and we can see how this works. So let's see other demos because well, I think in the next in the next slide, let's see the slide first. So we already set up a project. I already show you how to set up a project, all the steps, and a project that is already running with MudBlazor. So about the library, MudBlazor has a lot of, oh, sorry, the caps are playing around here. About MudBlazor, we have a lot of things that we can use in the library. We can themes, colors, typography. We have a layout, buttons, inputs that we can use, for example, in a form. This is very important because it's the control that we need to create forms in our application. We have data display. We have table. We will see a demo related to table. We have navigation. We can create a menu, for example, with this. We have some option to create feedback, like add comments, or for example, the rate control that the people can use in order to select the number of star that can to perform a qualification for something. And we have some additional utility. So with this, we have a completely library for all the things that we normally need in our website, or admin website, for example, or a store, that kind of size that we normally have to do. So this is why MudBlazor is great, because it has all the components. It's not only about one component or one thing. It's about all the components that we normally need in the whole application for many scenarios. So at the beginning, when I started with Blazor, I was including a lot of libraries separately. For example, one library to show notification, another library to show a modal, another library to create a menu. But now with MudBlazor, we don't need to include a lot of libraries or searching Google for a specific library to do something. Finally, with MudBlazor, we will include all these in our application, only adding one library. Okay, so that's the idea, and this is why MudBlazor is great. So let's see. I think let's see another demos. We already see the base demo, but I have other demos that I want to show you. So let's see how this works. Let's go back to the code. Let's we can keep this running, I think. No, but let's stop this, because maybe I can I can have issue with that. So let's see, for example, menu demo. So with this demo, we have here, I already changed here in the share component the nav menu. So in this case, we are using mod app bar, which is a specific control that we can use to create a search bar and some specific icons that we want to highlight in the application in the header. So this is the purpose of this control. And also we have, for example, MoPaper, which is like a control that we can use in order to split some part of the application or some part of the UI. And also we have here mob nav menu. With mob nav menu, we have the possibility to create a menu for our application, We have mode divider, which is a control to divide, create spaces between a control and another. So we have here mod test. This is only a test, a normal test, like a title. In this case, we have MudBlazor app, and also we have mod nav link. This is the menu. Actually, this is the links that are going to navigate in the application, inside the application, between all the components that we already have. So let's see this demo. Here, so we can compare with, this is the original one, this is MudBlazor, original one and MudBlazor. Okay, so with MudBlazor we have the title here. We can see the divider here, that is separating this section, this title from the menu, and we can see how we have the menu here is working fine, and we can see how the current module is highlighted, and also obviously we can change this and we can improve the UI if we want to do it. It's very important to highlight that MudBlazor has like a styles by default that we can keep, and actually the idea is to try to keep all these as it is. I mean, not as it is, but no change all the style by default in MudBlazor, because finally we can break something. And the idea, I mean, we can change, for example, the colors. We can change some. We can create some classes in order to extend MudBlazor and fit with the colors that we normally use in the corporative. For the corporative colors that our company is using. So we can do that, but in general we try to keep all the things that MudBlazor has by default, if we can do it, because yeah, in this case we can avoid issues and have a better performance. So this is how this menu works. So let's go back to the code and see another demo. Let's stop this one and go to dialog alert. So this is a small demo that we can see in the counter, .razor, the counter component. In this counter component, so we have mod button, as you see before. This is the first demo that we saw before in this session, but I already performed some additional changes. So in this case, if I perform a click over this button, we will see a dialog parameter, a dialog alert, like a dialog modal. So with this model, we will see a confirmation message. Do you want to increase the value by 1? Yes, and we are adding the color, subset color, which is green, in order to see this model. So we are passing this parameter to dialog confirm, and we are getting the result here, and we are asking if the result is not canceled, and also if the result is true. So if the result is true, we will increment the count by 1. So that's the idea, and this is the same the same code that we have before, but we are adding here another property in order to show a alert message. So the alert message is here, which is a mob alert. It's another control in MudBlazor that we can use in order to show notifications, for example, or to show important message that the user have to be careful of, have to keep the focus. So we can use this control in order to achieve that. Okay, and also for the model, we have a structure here. So we have a dialog of confirm here. The dialog confirm is just a small structure where we can see 2 buttons, a button to cancel and a button to confirm. We have the context test here, which is a parameter. This is the way that we can use in order to pass parameters or put required parameters in our components. So in this case, we can use the attribute parameter. We have context text, button text, color, and we have here the actions that we want to perform when the user submit or the user cancel. So let's go back to counter and see how that works. Here it is. So we are passing those parameters using dialog parameter here. We are creating parameters and we are passing the parameters in this way. So this is the way this is the implementation that we need to use in order to create a dialog modal or a dialog window in our application. And this is how we can create parameters and pass those parameters. So let's see this demo running. Very interesting. We will see more controls that we can use in MudBlazor. So we have this demo here. We have the same here. We have the NAT menu with MudBlazor. But when I want to perform a click here, we will see this confirm message. So with this confirm message, we have the option to cancel or confirm with yes here. So this model is using all the controllers or many controllers related to MudBlazor. We can confirm, and now we can see this alert here. As I said before, it's very useful to show notification, to show important message, to show errors to the user. And also we have in this case the option to close it. So let's see again. This is how this works. Very useful and very common in our application, include this kind of controls. So let's see another demo. The last demo that we have. I don't know if we have questions right now. Let me see if we have. I don't know. Not yet. Okay. No, we don't have questions yet. Okay. So let's go to the next demo table here. Last one. So with this demo, the idea is to show you how table works. So we have this, and this is another component that we have by default in Blazor. This component already has a table, and it has some data by default that we can use in order to show something. But in this case, I replaced the table that it is coming by default, and I am adding a mob table here. So how mob table work? With mob table, we have the possibility to pass the items, to create a filter if we want to add a search bar in the table. In this case, I am using a search bar. We have a toolbar content. With this toolbar content, we have this is like the header of the grid. In this case, we have a title, which is weather list. We have a spacer here, and also we have a mob test field that we are going to use in order to create the search functionality. Okay, so with this search functionality, we can use the placeholder, we can add the placeholder, we can add a binding value, which is going to save the text that I write during in that field, in that mob test field, the text that I want to search. Okay, and then we have here the header content, which is the head of the columns, all the header for the columns that we will use. In this case, we have a specific case here, which is a mob table source level. We can create a functionality or add a functionality in each column to sort or order the column by a specific function that we can create. In this case, in this sort by, we have this function here, and we are sorting by date. Okay, and also then at the end we have this row template where we will add all the rows for these columns. In this case, we have date, we have temperature C, we have temperature F, Fahrenheit, we have summary, Celsius, yeah, all the same demo that it is in the base template for Blazor, but in this case we are using a mod table. That's the difference, but it's the same. Finally, is the same. So regarding the filter function, we have this function here that is filtering by weather forecast, which is the element or the type, the class type that we are using. And also we are passing here then in filter function the search string. As you know, this search string is where the words that I type in is saved. So then after typing something, we will use, oh, sorry, here, okay. We will use this to search, and here we are searching by date and summary. These are two fields that we are using in order to see if contains the search string that the user is adding, and then if returning true. Okay, we have here weather forecast, the class, etc. This is included by default in the base template, and that's it. That's the idea, and this is how a table or yeah, a table or data table in MudBlazor works. So let's execute this demo. Oh, it is running in the other browser. So let me bring this to this one. Okay, and fetch data, and we can see the data table here. So as you can see, for example, if I go to the this column or this column, this is only a text, right? But if I go to date, we have the possibility to sort by this specific column. So if we perform a click over this, we can see the differences. So this is why in the code, if we go back to the code, we have here the possibility to use this mod table sort label, and we can create a specific function with the logic that we want in order to sort the content, the rows in the table by that specific column. We have also the search bar here, so we can try, for example, bracing. We can see one recorder. We can see, we can search by chili. We can see one record there. So this is how it works. The idea is to write the test and then press enter in order to see the result. And also we can keep this empty in order to see all the rows in the table. We can also, we have the possibility to perform pagination here. We have the possibility to choose between different amount of records. But finally, all this is custom. We can customize all these functionalities. So if you want to, for example, create a different search logic here and search by temperature and or other things or the criteria, you can do it. It's pretty simple. If you want to remove, for example, this pagination, you can do it. If you want to paginate by default for 20 records and keep this not like a optional for the user, like a fixed add fixed value for the pagination, you can do it as well. There are many functionalities that you can add as well to the data table. And also we have the possibility to add button here in order to edit the records. So that's the idea. So with this, we are completing, we complete all the demos that we have for this session. All the demos that, yeah, we have the basic demo that we have, and how we can start with MudBlazor. So let's go back to the slides and see what else we have. So why to use MudBlazor? I mean, it's pretty clear now with the demos that we saw before. We saw a lot of functionalities that we can add with a simple configuration, adding some properties. Is pretty simple, everything. And this is why we need to use MudBlazor. But also, Blazor have rich controls that help us to create advanced functionalities, so the user is going to have more option to interact with the application. Also, it's very easy to use after set up all the things that we need to set up at the beginning, adding the styles and the JavaScript and the using, etc. After that, we don't have to perform more actions. We only need to, go to the code and write the control that we need and the structure in the UI that we need, and that's it. It has a great support. It has a lot of a big community that is supporting this, and also they are creating more themes and other things that maybe we have to pay for some things in the future, but some we are talking about advanced features or additional feature. But in general, MudBlazor is completely free. It's pretty nice to use it, and it has a really good performance. If you add MudBlazor to your application, you are not going to affect the performance. You will see the same Blazor application running. If your application has performance issue, maybe it's because you are processing a lot of data, or you are using bad practices, or maybe there is something related to Blazor directly, but not with MudBlazor, because MudBlazor it has a really good performance. It doesn't have any issue related to a specific control that maybe could maybe can create some delays in your application or something like that. So finally, we can use we can feel comfortable using MudBlazor for the whole application, and also we can save time working with this library, because we only need to add the control that we need, set up some properties, and then we have this control running. MudBlazor, it has responsive design by default, so that's another important thing to highlight. We can create all the interfaces that we need, and by default, MudBlazor is going to try to keep our application running with a good user experience in our cell phones or tablets. So that's it. If you want to read more about Blazor, I have some interesting articles in CSharpCorner. I have an article related to continuous integration and continuous deployment for Blazor application using Azure DevOps. Also, I have an article about the new features in Blazor with .NET 6 and unit tests for Blazor component. If you want to start to test your components, that's an important article. Also, I think maybe today, tomorrow, or this weekend, I will publish an article related to MudBlazor, how to start with MudBlazor, and I will include this session there, so you can check it out later. That's it from my side. So thanks for this. Thanks for attending this session, and also remember, you can find me at mtheran.dev, or mtheran in general in internet. I think I don't know if there are questions, Simon.
That was great session, Miguel. I mean, I love that you covered so much in just about 40 minutes. Looking back, you started with Blazor, you differentiated between server side, client side, you talk about Mud Blazor, you had like 4 to 5 different demos. And in fact, Miguel, I'm at the trymudblazor.com, and I was just trying to copy what you were doing. You changed the color from primary to warning. I also did that. You copied the text, you changed the heading. I did everything that you did, and this is really a piece of a cake. And I feel if someone has already used Bootstrap, I mean, which most of us have done, it is just like you don't have to go to Bootstrap now. We have got a MudBlazor. I just go ahead and use it. So this looks very promising. And John says, thank you. And Vladimir says, Miguel, very good presentation. Thank you. There's a question coming up. He's saying, I'm not sure if I can pronounce your name. Progressive Web Apps. Can you tell us how to use Progressive Web App in brief? Maybe he's talking about if this works in Progressive Web App, which I believe should.
Yes. So the idea with Progressive Web App is to have the possibility to run the application in the browser when we have when the client has connection issues. So we can identify that we cannot connect to the server, and we can show to the user something like, "Hey, I am offline at this moment, or I have not connection with the server, but I will show you some option that we can use, or this is the last information that I show you. You can check it. So let's wait for connecting again with the server, and then we can sync the changes that we will perform, that you will perform, or the application can show something like, I will show you all the functionalities again when I can connect with the server in the future, or when the issues that we have with the connection disappear. So that's the idea. Also with Progressive Web App, we can install the application in our local machine like a desktop application. Finally, it's still a web application, but we can install all the resources and use it like a desktop application when we have a full internet connection. So yeah, but basically that's the idea. Is something that it was very popular 1 year ago, 2 years ago, but now with the Net Maui, and also with all the progress that, for example, Flutter is doing also in this way to create, a multi-platform framework. Maybe Progressive Web App is not, maybe it is not a lot of popular at this moment because people is keeping the focus on other possible solutions.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. And that was a very detailed answer. Your name is Louis, and Louis, thanks for joining in and thanks for asking the question. And I hope that you got the answer to your question. So, Miguel, maybe I missed while I was doing the demo. Maybe like I really got into the documentation. And now, what I just saw you doing it as you change it from primary to warning. I know there must be other classes or classes too. Where do I go ahead and find it? Did you tell in the session, or I missed it? How do I
Uh,
go ahead and find all these classes and different components that I need to use? Is it in getting started or is it in under products? Where do I see those?
I sorry, Simon, I don't understand the question. So
So okay, I'll share my screen. Right, I'm sorry, I'm just using this live show as my personal queries. So you
okay,
see, you went ahead and changed from primary to warning,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
that's correct.
where did you come to know that this warning exists? Where did you come to
Oh,
know that this class exists?
yeah, really good question. So if we go to MudBlazor
Mm-hmm.
in the documentation, let me, okay, I will show that.
Yeah.
Share. Okay, you can see my screen now. Yeah, if we go to MudBlazor, oh yeah, we can go to this link and then navigate to documentation. We have here colors.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
with,
okay.
yeah, with this color, we can see the color supported for all the for example, we have this purple here, and we have different like a intensity of the color
Mm-hmm.
that we can choose. So yeah, there are a lot of color here. So this is how MudBlazor works. Basically, we can assign this color to a control, and that's it. So this is what I mentioned during the session. I mean, you can create your own CSS and
Mm-hmm.
replace all the colors and all the style that MudBlazor has by default. But since we have a lot of option here, since we have a lot of colors and possibilities to create our UI, I really recommend to use this and not replace the things that MudBlazor has by default, because maybe you can introduce you can bring a issue or something to the library.
Yeah, this looks very promising. It's a dock filled with different components and colors and different features. My last question, Miguel, looks like you have been working on it for a while now, right? What is one thing that you find very challenging with MudBlazor, or one thing that people will face challenging when they go ahead and start learning this?
Actually, to answer that question, Simon, let me see if I can show you a small application that I did
Mhm.
with MudBlazor. So you will see more like a more feature. Let me see if I have the possibility to show you that. I already have published this, and you will see more features, more things with ModBlazor, more controls. But this application is in Spanish. This is why I don't want to show you this application. I mean, I didn't want to show you, but you will understand the concept for this, because finally, yeah, let me show you this. So this is an application that is using ModBlazor for everything. We have a menu, we have a option here. So, but the application is in Spanish. So we have, for example, this is sums in English, sums. Sonas in Spanish is the same. We can, for example, edit here. We can see, for example, floor one. This is in Spanish, but in English is floor one. We can save here, and we can see notification here. We can remove. We can add, for example, another one like a floor three. We can save, and we can remove it. Then using this, we can see a confirmation message here. We can remove it, and we can see how this work, and the notification here. So everything here is working with ModBlazor. So the challenging here was to create this reservation. This is like a book session for this
Mhm.
hotel booking. So we have the possibility to see which room is available for the day that I selected here. So it was a little challenging, because we have to identify, we have to go to the database and check if the room is available or not. And
Mhm.
also, we are using cards here. So the idea is to use card in order to see in a big screen that this hotel has. They
Oh,
had the possibility to see in that screen all the rooms that are busy, and all the rooms that are available. So yeah, this is a
wow.
little
This
more
is, this is a
complex,
real
but
application, right?
yeah,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
good.
this
And
Blazor
I like that
application.
you mentioned that every time you select a date, the tab changes. So you have to make sure that the data is refreshed, right? It up to date, the room is available. Yeah, that's important.
Exactly. And the
And
UI, the challenging was
yeah.
how to show a really good UI,
Mhm.
where the customer can see if the application is available or not. So in this case, we only have one room, but in
Mhm.
production they have many room, obviously,
Yeah.
and they can easily see if the room is green or red. If the room is red, is because it's busy. If the room is green, is because it's available.
That's good. That's good. That was an absolutely great session, Miguel. Love the presentation and the demos. And I think you are the one who has come up with maximum number of demos in any of the live shows that I have done. So that is absolutely great, Miguel. So Miguel, ooh, yeah. So Miguel, before we go ahead and wrap up, right? I know we are already over time. It's almost like an hour. Before we go ahead and wrap it up, what is one thing that you do behind after coding? Something what are some of your hobbies? What do you do when you get bored or you're not coding?
Thank you for that question, Wes. Sorry. Thanks for that question. Well, normally, I every year is something different, but this year I can see I really like to watch movies, watch
Hmm.
series, and also I am reading a lot. For example, I already finished a book which is D-Books for the Modern Enterprise by Mirko Hiring. It's really interesting, because you can know how to apply DevOps from scratch in a
Wow.
company. And also now I am reading something about durable action functions, and probably I will write some articles about that in CSharpCorner. Also, I am reading some drama texts or books, and yeah, this is what I like right now.
Wow, that's a lot of reading going on at the same time. You're watching movies and doing all this tech stuff. That was great, Miguel. We really enjoyed hosting you. We would love to have you back whenever you're available. We are doing conference here in India. If you can show up, we would love to have you here. I know it's halfway around the world, but if it's possible, we would love to host you here in October. Thank you so much once again for accepting the invitation. And yeah, hope to see you soon and have a great day ahead. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you
Oh,
everybody to attend this session. See you in the next one.
all right, Tara. Bye. All right, with that absolutely great session by Miguel, I am astonished that he came up with so much of great presentations and he has covered each and every topic absolutely great. So, with that, if you have missed it, any part of this live show, you can always come back and watch it on C Sharp Corner YouTube, or it will also be available on C Sharp Corner website if you just go to video section. Having said that, that's all in this episode of C Sharp Corner MVP Show. As always, I'm your host Simon, and I'll see you some other day, almost like every day at C Sharp Live. Until then, take good care of yourself and see you soon. Ta-da. Bye.